Hey guys, still at BlizzCon. It's Friday, and Rainer and Trap are currently at game number 5, so we're sacrificing watching that to do this interview.
It's getting heated.
Yeah, I want to give an extra big thank you to Livibee for actually taking the time to do this and
My
sticking
pleasure.
with the schedule. We probably should have had up on, while we're doing this interview, and then something happens. We're like, oh, hold on, okay. Anyways, just want to get your thoughts about general StarCraft and streaming and stuff, because I feel like I just don't see a lot of interviews from you. I watch your stream, and I know you have a very popular YouTube, but we just don't know Livibee. Okay, so if you don't know her in general, she is a StarCraft 2 streamer and YouTuber, and pretty much just StarCraft, which we'll also get into your opinions on that. But let's just start off from the very basics. How did you get into StarCraft, and what made you become a streamer?
Sure. Well, hi guys, if you guys don't know me. My name's Livibee. Every time someone enters the stream, I've made a little rap. It's like, hey guys, my name's Livibee, can't you see? I'm the best Zerg player A and Z.
Wow.
Gets you every time.
I did not know you had that. That's amazing.
And I actually started playing a lot of StarCraft Brood War when I was younger. So with my family, my sister, brother, and my dad. And my childhood was basically all Brood War. I was addicted to the game for many, many years. Use map settings, 7v1 comp stomps, unallied victory. Just kidding, no one did that, maybe. My brother mainly. And then when StarCraft 2 was announced in 2010, naturally, I had to get it. I had to play it. I was really just addicted to the StarCraft franchise. I was in love with it from my childhood, and it had that nostalgic value for me. And then it kind of just was a natural progression for me to get into streaming and have that community aspect to StarCraft, since it is a really solo type of game. And then that's what really, I guess, drove this competitive spark in me, was trying to improve constantly and have everyone tune in and encourage you to get better and just believe in you. And that's how I really fell in love with streaming.
That's really cool. So a lot of the times when, especially women get into gaming, it's they have a lot of brothers or uncles or whatever. Were you a general gamer, or was it just Brood War, and who got you into it? Or was it a family decision?
I think it was mainly my dad.
Okay.
He was really tech savvy when I was growing up. So he always got us computers each.
Okay.
Which is probably pretty bad as a kid, because he
actually really neat.
Didn't really go outside very much. But I think he liked it like that, because he knew that we were okay if he just gave us a computer and kept in our own little room.
Yeah, make an introvert, but a safe introvert. Yeah.
Mega introvert as a kid, not very active, but that's okay. I played a lot of Quake and Duke Nukem and that sort of thing growing up, so I guess I kind of started on FPS, but then transitioned to Brood War. Yeah.
Okay, so this interview is going to take actually a really wild turn. I know I prepped you for one thing, but I'm going to do another. This is very interesting. So, and forgive me for being a little blunt here, but you actually have a very, feminine persona, right? You hear it's just, literally, too, my dad also was, really, I have older brothers, and we were all tech savvy and into video games. I turned into a tomboy. That's what people expect, right? If we're, introduced into that world, it's almost always the masculine side of things.
Yeah.
But you are very, very feminine,
Oh, thanks.
You're pretty, your makeup, and you got the whole thing, and I'm just in a sweatshirt and doing nothing. Was this a decision that you made to be the way you are when you were younger? Were you ever pressured not to be this way when you were younger? You're supposed to be more of a tomboy, or you just you just have a comfortable family and a comfortable group of friends that just didn't really seem to care either way?
That's a really good question, actually. To break it down, I suppose, growing up, I was always really into fashion.
Okay.
So I was into cooking, I was into fashion, and I was into video games. And I never really shared that with my immediate group of friends. Usually I'd only have 1 to 2 best friends that I'd hang out with on the daily. But then growing up into my senior years of high school, I started branching out to the guys that were gamers.
Okay.
And to my girlfriends, I would always hide the fact that I was into video games, because it just didn't spark their interest. So I couldn't really relate to them on that level. But then when I found people that I could connect with that common interest, then I felt like I could open up.
Okay.
So I suppose it was just a mixture of being into fashion as well as video games.
Yeah, having your own hobby that wasn't really impactful for the teenager years, and then you said in college is when you found other people?
Mainly seinr years, high school, grade 11 and 12.
Yeah. Did you go to college, university?
Yeah, university, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So what did you study in?
Visual arts.
Oh, yeah, I did know that. She does give, you have like once a day or once a week rather, you do a art stream, painting stream?
Oh, yes, I used to do that, yeah.
Oh, okay, used to? Okay, yeah. But anyways, see, that's really cool. But yes, you kind of did, I mean, it seems like the opposite again of like what tomboys would usually say is like it was very, I didn't want to make makeup, I didn't want to get dressed up, and then I kind of evolved, like I learned like it's okay to be that way. But you could have had the opposite experience where you're like into all these things and then you actually were like, oh, video games are okay too. Like I'm glad to be into it. Yeah. That's very unique, if you say that. So that's very, very cool. So you get into StarCraft 2 from being in a Brood War for so much. And I guess on PC, so you actually did play Brood War.
Yeah.
Then you start streaming because you love the community. So when did you start streaming, and how much of a success was it at first? Did you think you would be a job or what?
Oh, God, no.
Okay.
It was such a new thing back then. It was still called Justin TV.
Right, yeah.
So when I started streaming, it was actually my sister's idea. She found Justin TV before I did. I was like watching YouTube, and I was watching casted matches of StarCraft 2 from like Haitian StarCraft, and Husky StarCraft, and all that type of thing. And I just found it really entertaining for some reason. And I was in the middle of, I was supposed to be studying for university, and I was watching these YouTube videos when my sister walked in the room, and she was into StarCraft 2 as well. And she was like, "What are you watching?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just this guy casting StarCraft on YouTube." And she was like, "We could totally do that." And I was like, "Jessie, don't be crazy." And she was like, "No, we totally could." So she found a streaming platform on the internet, which was Justin TV, and she started a joint channel for us called the B-Duck.
I think I kind of remember this. We talked about this before, yeah.
Yeah, because her online name was Cheeky Duck and mine was Livibee, because Livibee was my childhood nickname, so my whole family called me Livibee. So it was just like a natural name to pick online. And then we started like casting like these B-Duck cups together, very young, very early days. And I realized that I enjoyed casting, but it wasn't just like a natural talent of mine, that it didn't really spark the competitive, like it didn't really feed the competitive hunger that I was going for, that ladder did, and always constantly wanting to improve. So I decided to, take a turn from the casting and go into like more competitive gaming.
Yeah, tournaments and stuff, yeah.
And then that was early like 2014, where then I was like, well, it doesn't really pay the bills. I'm not really placing top 8 or anything. So I decided to go for more of the streaming aspect, because I love building a community, and I love just like people tuning in and just having a really good time on the stream. And being able to share my online gaming experiences and achievements with everybody as well was really just the deciding factor of what I wanted to do.
Were you competitive in any other way when you were younger, like sports and stuff?
Not at all. That's the really weird thing, because when I was growing up, I actually preferred other people winning, because it made them really happy.
Oh wow! Oh my God, you're just wholesome right now.
I would play like this laser tennis game, and Connect 4 and Scrabble with my mum. I would always let her win, because she was so happy when she won, and she was so sad when she lost, because obviously I'm a lot younger. When I was like 11, she'd be really sad if I beat her in Scrabble, because it's like her favorite game. That's probably why it just like
became like your thing that you like to see.
I didn't really like winning all that much until I played Zerg in StarCraft. When I was playing Protoss, it was just fun playing team games with my sister and my family and stuff, because I used to be Protoss player. Let's not mention that. But then when I started playing Zerg, I actually wanted to get really good at it for some reason, and I don't even know why. It's like sparked this inner competitive drive inside me. And now I have 2 Grandmaster accounts on NA, and it's really hard to maintain, but we're going to finish the season on it.
Nice, wow. So just like all types of things just seem to happen like with like all of a sudden with StarCraft, or just because StarCraft was in your life when you were younger. Yeah. What an interesting little tale. So you make your streaming community, and I mean, you've been doing this, well, you said 2014, so 5 years. I can do math, I can do that. Well, when it started, like, did you have just a mind of sharing your ladder experience in a community, or did you actually research into like branding and merchandising and advertising and stuff? Have you learned all that since then? You think a lot better at it?
I feel like I'm a lot better at it these days. And I had like a lot of people along the way help me. Like I remember Panic Switch helped me a lot with the branding and the managing finances and scheduling and stuff like that, because I was quite a noob when it came to all of that stuff, and he became my manager for a period of time. And then it really taught me a lot in the whole business aspect of streaming, where before I was just like, I felt like I was just trying to have a good time and like, take it very lighthearted. It was just all good fun. But then when it became a larger thing, and it was actually supporting me and my life. I was like, oh, I probably should take this a little bit more seriously,
Sure.
and then actually have a schedule and produce content and like, you know, maybe look out for sponsors and that type of thing. And then that, I feel like you really just learn as you go.
Yeah.
It's something that you have to kind of pick up, and I guess it's all just a learning experience.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I think almost everyone, you know, they don't really acknowledge that it's becoming a business for quite some time. And at one point, you got to be like, oh, like this is a business, this is a brand. I have to push some angles a little bit harder. You don't want to be fake, but it's the honest truth. It's like you're 110% of yourself, is a way that a lot of streamers seem to put it. But you know, with the visual arts background, you know, your stream has the nice branding with all the bees and whatnot. There's some really cool graphics. Did you do any of those? Did you give ideas to the creators you were talking to? Like, how did your whole aesthetic come to be?
Well, I knew I wanted to go for the bee brand because my name online was Livibee.
Right.
So it was only natural to be like, okay, we're going to go for the black and yellow theme, and it's going to be a lot of bees. And then because I really, really loved the color yellow as well, so it really all fit together.
Okay.
Well, yellow and pink, as you can tell. I'm wearing my pink cardigan. And then I did a lot of the graphics myself and a lot of the emotes I designed.
Okay.
But then a lot of people came along and also helped. Like some fans of the stream would be like, hey, I designed this graphic for you. Did you want to use it? If you like it, you're welcome to use it, and that sort of thing.
Cool.
And then I would like get the original PSD file off them, and then I'd alter it as well to kind of for it to become what it is today of all the graphics that I have. And then like also the emotes,
Yeah,
the
whatever.
emotes that we have in the channel, I commissioned it from a really, really good artist named 47S.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I just tell him like the idea, and then he kind of like sketches it up.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, that looks awesome, and then he makes them, and it's magic.
Okay, very cool. So now looking forward, it's been 5 years. You've really learned a whole lot. Like, do you have concrete goals when you get on stream or when you plan out your month, or is it just like a daily experience trying to work with what you got?
A lot of the time, I do take like a day by day. And I feel like when it comes to streaming, it's a lot more difficult than pre-planned content like YouTube or I don't know, just like photos and that sort of thing. So you have to, every day is different. You can't always be in a good mindset or at the top of your gameplay or anything like that. So you can't, I guess you can have an overall monthly goal as to, you know, maybe like, it's really bad to have this mindset, but you can be like how many follows or how many subscribers. But usually what I go off is how much MMR I've gained. I was like, that's my daily goal. I was like, I have to go up this much MMR, and by the end of the month, I have to be around this MMR.
Wow. Gosh, no, I don't. I quickly realized I don't like pressuring myself like that. So, I mean, does it ever get stressful? StarCraft 2 is already a stressful game, and then you're playing at some of the best competitive levels, so it's extra stressful, and then it's your livelihood, so it's extra stressful.
Yeah.
Does it ever wear down on you? Do you wish you could add in other games or play other races, or do you enjoy every single day, or do you, is it more like occasionally it is like going to work, like going to a 9 to 5?
For a lot of the days, because I do try my best to keep to a schedule, it does feel a lot like a 9 to 5 in that regard, but I also have like this really strong addiction to gaming. So I do stream like 11 hours a day.
You're pretty insane.
So it's like 6 days a week, 11 hours a day, I'm always streaming. And because of that, I feel like it does get a little bit stressful, but it's usually like 5 hours of StarCraft, and then I usually switch to like a less demanding game.
Yeah, I think it's so you play Apex when it like
Yeah,
first
a
came
couple
out and
Apex,
stuff
maybe
like
some
that.
Sims, maybe a Borderlands. you
Oh,
know.
really? Yeah.
Just like also with like maybe like my stream, like my subscribers or like a friend, just play like a team aspect game. I think really helps break up the loneliness and the ladder grind, because it's really demanding like on the wrists as well.
Very true.
So you got to make sure you stretch a lot and, you know, hydrate, you know, do that sort of thing. Otherwise, it can like really take a toll on not only your health but your mental state. So I feel like if you got to make sure, I feel like I'm a little bit abnormal when it comes to that, because I don't know, like I can really just grind it out and like and take very minimal breaks, where I feel like a lot of people need to take more, and everyone's different.
Yeah.
Because some people need to take more days off to kind of re-energize and get into a good mental state.
Yeah.
And I think taking that one day off a week helps a lot.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are very, like, even, I would say, critical of, like, Twitch streamers, saying it's, like, working way too hard.
Yeah.
And then, there's either the people who work way too hard and are they're miserable every day that they work really hard, or there's people who actually maybe enjoy it, but you just realize, like, you have nothing else going on in your life. Like, you are just a shut-in that streams 14 hours a day. Like, is this actually healthy?
My brother-in-law actually is like, because I live with my brother-in-law and my sister, and my brother-in-law comes up to me, he like pokes me in the face. Like, Livy, I haven't seen you in like a week.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I still live here.
They just forget you live there. So that, I mean, it's good that you enjoy it, though. I mean, that's really awesome. Do you think that you can sustain this? Well, I mean, it's really hard to ask any streamer or any content creator this question, because I hate being asked this question, but you look to the future.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you have to. But do you think you would sustain the same model even into like your 30s and maybe your 40s? Do you think it would be the same game, or how far in advance do you plan forward? I guess is kind of the general question.
I think for me, it's like I really, really enjoy streaming, and I've built a really, really great community, and I feel like I want to do it as long as I possibly can, as long as it financially can sustain me, because obviously if I can't pay rent, then I don't have internet. But I definitely want to be streaming for as long as possible, and I think that will go like probably till I'm a grandma, honestly.
That'd be awesome. Maybe grandma streaming.
Well, probably not StarCraft, because my reaction time might not be as good. I
was gonna say like 2060, like. What is it? So with that in mind, I mean, what about the future of StarCraft? Do you think that your community would outlast anything that happens to the system, anything that happens to Blizzard, or do you think that you would eventually change over games just with new games coming out they might be interested in, or Blizzard might stop, whatever with StarCraft? Like, does that worry you? Is it something you've thought of?
I have thought about it, but only briefly, honestly. I feel like my community, they are like not like other communities, and they will stick with me thick and thin, won't you guys? So I feel like I'm not really too worried when it comes to like StarCraft dying or anything like that, because I feel like StarCraft is one of those niche RTS games anyway, where it can't really die since it fulfills that very small niche that not any other game really does. And even if it isn't StarCraft, there's probably Warcraft, which is like RTS as well. And I feel like just like people really want that RTS hunger, and I feel like my community is awesome, so they won't leave me. That's all. That's it.
Would it always be competitive RTS? Is that just the thing that like grabs you, or do you like being competitive in any other games?
I think RTS is the one that drives the competitive out of me the most.
Right.
But I have felt competitive in like FPS games slightly.
Okay.
But definitely not as much. I feel like especially storyline games, if it's not challenging, I just fall asleep.
Okay, so JRPGs aren't your favorite then?
They're very fun, but if they're challenging and I'm if I'm like just tired,
sure,
I will just fall asleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe you like Final Fantasy Tactics, maybe you won't. But okay, so we're at BlizzCon and things were just announced. Diablo 4 was announced, Overwatch 2 was announced, and I know you played Overwatch.
Yeah.
You still kind of do. Warcraft 3 Reforged was announced. There was actually a lot of really great announcements. So I'm guessing you're a general Blizzard fangirl, like most of everyone is when they get into a Blizzard game. Are you looking forward to any of these games? Are you going to play through Diablo 4? Are you going to do PvP in Diablo 4? Do you feel any affinity towards Blizzard in that way as well? You want to focus in on those games?
When Diablo 3 was launched, I was working retail at the time because I wasn't really a streamer. Well, I started streaming at the time.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I planned out a whole 24-hour stream. And so the launch was kind of rough because no one could log on. And I was like, man, I planned out this whole thing. But Diablo 3 actually was really fun in the beginning. And I definitely plan on doing a playthrough of Diablo 4 as well. And watching the opening ceremony and watching the Overwatch 2 cinematic, I was getting the nerd chills, not gonna lie. So I definitely have to try that out as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think I will switch to any of them full time though.
Yeah, of course. But a general excitement about video games, does it happen more with Blizzard than any other company?
Yes, for sure, definitely.
I think so. You're right. Like the cinematics are just like, some people say that Overwatch things are cheesy, and they kind of are, but they're so damn well done that it doesn't really seem to matter.
I like them a lot.
Yeah, so you're going to play any while you're here? I know we've been watching, StarCraft, because it's only on Friday. So are you saving Saturday for all the testing?
I think so. I might go after this interview. I might go like maybe test out a couple games, but if I don't get the time, I will definitely do it tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well, I think that might just cut it here. This has been a very enlightening interview.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea about any of this stuff. Like you coming up, I could definitely ask you a bunch more questions about that. But we all have stuff to do. BlizzCon's only 2 days, so thank you very much for taking the time, sitting down with me. Go ahead and do any shout outs.
Shout out to my Bee fam because I love them to death, and thanks for supporting me. And I hope you'll be with me till the day I die. That's all.
Make sure to follow her on Twitch and become one of the Bee fans, I guess, twitch.tv/Livibee. Yeah, make sure to follow this channel, guys. I'll see you next time in the next interview. But for now, it's bye.